So this is Mark Clifton with LowkickMMA, and I'm speaking to the one only Carlos Kremer ahead of Brave CF50. First off, how has it been the past few weeks? Because there's been non-stop action coming out of Bahrain, and how has it been for you being there in Combat Kingdom?
It's been incredible. Combat Kingdom, our setting is at the historic Arad Fort right here in the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, which is now the epicenter for mixed martial arts, worldwide combat sports as well. It has been unbelievable. This is our fourth event in 21 days, and every event has just been incredibly fascinating, exhilarating, and some of the best cards that I've ever seen in my life. We just keep taking it up a notch each time. So as we head to our historic 50th event, we are as excited as we can. We're celebrating really becoming the only truly global promotion in the world that has gone to 21 different countries in our first 50 events. The second promotion hasn't even hit 10 in their first 50. So we're doing unbelievable things here at Brave Combat Federation. I'm proud to be a part of it.
That's part of the reason why I really got excited about Brave, is because a lot of promotions out there, you know, they promote the sport, they're in their countries, they're global, but Brave is really global. I mean, you've done India, Pakistan, Morocco, Colombia. I mean, you've really pushed the boundaries, and you've been there right from the beginning. So just to maybe explain to our audience, how did you first A, get into announcing, and B, how did you team up with the Brave CF?
I first got into announcing. I'm a communications major from UC Davis out in California, the United States. I played college football there. And I got into announcing right afterward and during college. I had my own talk show. I've always been just loved interviewing people. I was a communications major and loved just the art of conversation and speaking. So I was a boxer as well as a jiu-jitsu guy, and I was living in San Diego and was hungry to get involved in mixed martial arts. I started doing interviews at different MMA functions in Ventura and Los Angeles, and really just biding my time and doing it for free and under passion. And then I had an opportunity with Epic Fighting, which is in San Diego, a great promotion for amateurs run by Jason Stewart out there. And I started commentating for them. And at the beginning, there wasn't any, budget or anything like that. And they didn't really even have room. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bust into the industry. I'm going to start Epic TV. I'm going to hire my own cameraman. I'm going to get my own editor. And, my parents at the time were like, what are you doing? How much are you getting paid for this? I'm like, Mom and Dad, I'm actually losing money, but you have to think big picture. And the marketing alone, what happened from those early days, came back to me tenfold. And it just started mushrooming from there. And then I had a chance to commentate. And once I commentated, the announcer for Epic wasn't able to do it anymore. So I had a chance to become the cage announcer there. And that's where it started. And once I hit that cage, I've always loved drama. I've been in plays. I've been an actor in Hollywood doing several things. And I wanted to bring that Broadway show style feel, like a major Hollywood, Bollywood production, into the cage of mixed martial arts and give the fans an experience that they would never forget. And that has been my vow since then. And I had a podcast. So I asked the great Manolo Hernandez of San Diego Combat Academy and 10th Planet onto my show with Alex Soto, who is a Bellator and UFC fighter. And they were on my show, and my wife, Tekka, asked them during one of the breaks, and I wasn't there. I was getting a drink, and said, who's your cage announcer for Brave? And they said, well, you know what? We have somebody, but we're not really quite sure, how that's going to go. And Tekka was like, you need to check out my man. And sure enough, they checked it out, gave my reel to the Hawk, Mohammed Shahid, who's the president of Brave. And it is history from there. I started with Brave 1. And, the Kingdom of Bahrain has taken me in like family, one of their own. And it's been truly amazing that we're now at Brave 50. I can't believe we're that old already. But in just a little over 4 years, we've made history, and that has been, you know, my source of how I've run the gamut. And you know, for now the last 4 years, I've been, by Fight Book MMA, the world's #1 cage announcer. So accolades have come with that, and a lot of great prestige. But you know, my thing is that I'm always in this for the fighters and the fans. Without the fighters, we have no show. And without the fans, we don't have Brave Nation and that support. So that's my story of how I got involved. And it's been a whirlwind, and it's just been an unbelievable journey.
I mean, speaking of whirlwind, because everybody knows what it's like to join a company that already exists, it has its own culture. But I've been in that position, obviously you have. Whenever you start a new job at a new company that's just starting, no matter what industry it is, it's always very exciting in terms of creating your own culture, creating that dynamic. So what was it like those early days of Brave CF, those 1, 2, 3, 4, where you weren't quite sure, everyone was getting their feet wet and that? What were your early memories of the birthdays of the company?
It was, it was really just an incredible experience to come in, kind of an awe-inspiring experience to go, you know, from regional shows in California to a global promotion just like that. I mean, and to be seen by millions and millions of viewers. I know we have at times, half of a billion, 500 million and above available households to see our events. So that really kind of put the pressure on right away to either perform or not. And it's been amazing. Like since the very first Brave, at the end of the show, I told the world, I said, the Kingdom of Bahrain is taking over the MMA world. And people from the States and California were like, what are you talking about? First of all, where is the Kingdom of Bahrain? And second of all, taking over the MMA world, come on. And sure enough, you know, now we speed up to this date, 4.5 years later or so, and it really has come true in so many different ways. And I really have to thank the Hawk Mohammed Shahid and our founder, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmad Al Khalifa, for believing in me from day one. Because as you know, in this area out here, there's so many Arabic speaking celebrities, announcers, so many quality, amazing individuals that they were pressured to put someone like that on their show, and rightfully so. But they had the belief in me and said, wait, just watch, listen, see this guy in the cage, see how the fighters relate to him, see how the fans, you know, grasp and cling on and just find a mutual love and respect with each other. And sure enough, it happened. And I'm very, very grateful, because there were so many other opportunities and so many other people that were deserving in the area. So I had to come through with the biggest, most grand, extraordinary performance night after night to not only secure my job, but make history together.
And for a lot of MMA fans in the West, you know, there's really only one promotion. So I think sometimes that people don't really understand how big Brave is in certain kind of in other parts of the world. What's been the attitude toward Brave, specifically in the Middle East, you know, where it's based? What's been the attitude? How has it changed MMA in the region since you started just over 4 years ago?
It's been unbelievable for the region. You know, we're able to showcase the region and its stars. We're able to show, like, the Mohammed Fakhreddins of Lebanon, who's, you know, the toughest individual I've ever met in my life. This guy went through hardships of his home burning down in the Beirut bombings, having to move his family to another location while trying to find a gym. He didn't have a gym. He didn't have a training partner. He didn't have a coach, you know, and it showcases guys like that. He's now our champion, and he's going for the double belt on Thursday. It showcases guys like Jarrah Al-Salawi from Jordan, who is another Brave champion right now. And these individuals weren't getting the accolades or the respect that they deserved worldwide. And now they have that platform, you know, and it's just been unbelievable. It's made the region closer. It's made the region stronger. It's taken a sense of pride into the region to show the world. And I'll tell you what, when you watch Brave and you watch our fighters, because His Highness believes in them and Muhammad Shahid believes in them, these guys fight like no one else in the world, in my opinion. These literally gentlemen will fight to the death in that cage. And it's a sport, and it's amazing and entertaining, but there's different levels of how one goes into the cage and how they bring it into a fight. And we are definitely on another level, and the world sees it with our incredible fights that we've been having.
Or I think that's definitely the case. I think the first, where it was Brave CF23, there was like 4 knockouts. And they're just amazing knockouts. And it seems like there's knockouts, and Brave for some reason seems to have some very intense knockouts. I'm not sure what is in the water over there, but some of those fights, they make you stand up even when you're by yourself, go, wow, what the hell happened there? What's it like for you cage side, night after night seeing these fights? Does it ever get kind of repetitive, or are you constantly just kind of, have the adrenaline running once the first fight opens up?
Oh, it's an absolute joy. I'm in heaven. There's nowhere else I'd rather be in the world than cage side for a Brave Combat Federation event. If I weren't working the event, I'd be paying for the event. I'd be watching it on TV. Just from our first Brave Asian domination out here, Brave 47, we had India's Mohammad Farhad, who he scored the knockout, could be of the century, against Pakistan's Alumi Karim. And I tell you what, we're giving countries like India, who is huge, second largest country in the entire world, 1.3 billion people. We're giving India and countries like that a platform that they never had, exposure that they never had. No other promotions go into India, Pakistan, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, all these places that we go. And we're giving these countries a chance to truly shine and get that sense of, wow, look at what we're doing. Look how far we've come. And look, we can hang, and not only hang, but we can dominate in the world of mixed martial arts. So that's another, thing that I take great pride in wherever I go. I'm kind of a honorary ambassador of goodwill wherever I go. I'm an honorary peace ambassador wherever I go, because as the United States, where I'm from, hasn't had that great of a reputation worldwide. There's been stereotypes about how U.S. People are. I'm a former United States Marine captain as well. So there's thoughts about how I'm going to be and how I'm going to act. And when people meet me and I leave that impression of a man who cares and loves and respects everywhere I go, I feel that I'm bringing, a much better, a great name to the United States, that I'm very proud of, and a better reflection of the world for the United States, as well as Brave Combat Federation. So it all works hand in hand.
And when you talk about all these countries you have visited, like Pakistan and all these different regions, what's it like for you, just on a personal level, I guess, just as a person that can travel around, see these different cultures, meet these different people? I mean, that must be something that not many people, no matter what line of work and you're in, gets the opportunity to do. I mean, is that something that, I'm talking about when the cage is off, when you're just by yourself, when you wake up in the morning, you're in India or in Pakistan. And what's that like for you as a person who works in this industry? Does it feel quite special?
It's humbling. It's gratifying. It's just, a feeling of thankfulness just to see other countries and how they live and their customs and their music and their food. It's just really incredible. And, with what Brave is doing for these countries, everybody has treated me so kindly. Everybody has treated me with such respect and honor. And I have nothing but great things to say about countries that, to be quite frank, from the United States, most wouldn't travel to. And I've had no fear of doing that, because I know the great that we're doing around the world. I know that I'm representing His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmad Al Khalifa as his personal and exclusive announcer, which is a title that I hold very, very dear to my heart. And, you know, I just know that I'm doing the right thing and have that great support. And it's just really, really amazing for me. It's been an absolute joy.
Mm-mm. And just to talk about some of your experiences in terms of specific ones, the two I'd like to talk about was the London show, the Black and Tie London show, which was a very unique one, and also working with one of the most famous announcers, that's Lenny Hart. So I was wondering if you could maybe just talk about those experiences.
Oh, you know what? First of all, Lenny Hart, if I can get to right away, you know, just I grew up with Lenny Hart, you know, watched Lenny Hart through the years. She is an absolute amazing woman. And when Brave had the idea, the magnificent idea to say, hey, let's get the Roaring Lion and Lenny Hart together on one stage, and we're going to do it in the Kingdom of Bahrain at the end of International Combat Week, where we had 62 countries come into Bahrain for the IMFs, and they all represented and they all supported and came together. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen any of the past Bahrain shows when we would do that at the end of International Combat Week, but they are incredible. And to have the legend Lenny Hart together with me, I had to pinch myself a couple of times saying, wow, this is really happening. And she is the sweetest lady in the entire world. She is, you know, just like a figure. She's like a sister to me, and we're in touch all the time. She'll give advice, she'll give input, and I value her opinion. And man, I get so excited when I perform with her. But this is the kind of different thing that Brave does. You know, they getting back to what your question about the London event, the incredible red carpet London event where they had this, you know, London really is the Mecca for all business minds, the great business minds around the world. So many are in that London area. And, you know, Brave had that idea to say, let's get these incredible business minds, let's get the world's top influencers to one event. And won't they just, you know, they're going to tweet about it, they're going to talk about it, they're going to be excited about Brave. And that's exactly what happened. It was a phenomenal event. It was a red, you know, a suit and tie, red carpet, formal. It's dinner. It was entertainment. They had bands playing. They had you know, auctions. It was just unbelievable to do bow ties and tuxedos with just formal wear and a Brave event. It was just an unbelievable experience, and we hope to be back there very soon as well.
Do you think, with Brave being based in the Middle East, also close to Europe, do you feel, and you come from the States, do you think there's a bit of a cultural difference in terms of how they look at the sports business of MMA as opposed to the people in the States look at it?
Definitely. It's amazing, you know, what Brave does business-wise. You know, mixed martial arts is a gateway to so many different opportunities. And in the United States, you know, they focus on going to a city or a country and then having an event, and they're gone. What Brave Combat Federation does, the mindset, the great minds in Europe and the Middle East do, is we form relationships with these countries, not for one event, but forever. We want to help their economy. We want to help their businesses. We want their fans and their people to take pride in what's happening, and that we're including them on this incredible mission. And it really is a gateway, like, you know, mixed martial arts is the tree, but there's so many branches that can come and so many great things that can be rewarded. And we're just not changing mixed martial arts with these great business minds like Mohammed Shahid. We have Mohammed Mansour, who's one of the best business minds that I've ever seen as well. We're changing the game into all of sports, what you can accomplish in sports, and how you can bring the world together and make an impact on that economy of that country forever, not just one event, but forever.
Do you feel Because what you do in terms of partnerships when you go to let's say country like Romania, you partner with a local promotion, and what you're talking about, the kind of the plans. A lot of people in the West, who follow MMA may not be aware of these things. Do you think in the past few years, Brave's been kind of quietly planting seeds, and over the next 3 to 5 years, people are going to turn around and go, oh no, what was going on over there? We never saw that coming, and suddenly it's just going to explode. Do you kind of feel like there's a kind of a groundswell of support and there's things going on that people aren't even aware of, maybe perhaps in the West who follow MMA?
100%. For the average person that thinks that we're just putting on events, and that we're done, they are completely misinformed. We're into creating a global infrastructure for mixed martial arts that the world has never seen. We're into changing the landscape of mixed martial arts completely and showing what you can do with the right contacts, the right people involved, and that everybody thrives. That's the thing with Brave. Everybody wins. It's not just the people at the top. It's everyone benefits from Brave Combat Federation coming to their country. So we have a list. You wouldn't believe the amount of countries that want to be involved with Brave Combat Federation. It's crazy. Like we went to like the Philippines, Morocco, as we had said, Mexico. We've been all over the world, and once we go, they want us back as soon as possible because so many people benefit from it. And I don't think, we're not doing it quietly, because if you open up the internet, all you're going to see is Brave Combat Federation. It's really incredible. Me being from the United States and the other large promotions out there, Brave Combat Federation, it just dwarfs them with the amount of marketing that they do. And you know what? It's the right kind of marketing. It's marketing and branding our fighters, our family. So if you're a fighter and you come into Brave Combat Federation, there's so many different ways that you're going to be taking advantage of to excel and, take your career to the next level. And some of these guys, and women around the world, they have to think about that. When you go into promotion, it may be a big promotion, but if they're not marketing you, if they're not branding you and taking your career off, like a company like Brave is, then what's the use of that? And if, for most of the guys and ladies, they fight a couple of times and say that they eventually lose a couple in a row and they're out. They're gone from that promotion. Brave, once you're in, will give you every opportunity, because we want to create national heroes. We're the only company in the world that goes and seeks countries and makes it country versus country for worldwide bragging rights. And with that, the marketing is just insane. And, I'm just so proud, of our Brave team, our marketing team, our video team. Everybody works together here around the clock, because we all have that passion for our sport, and we all want to show the world that the Kingdom of Bahrain truly is the epicenter for combat sports, and we're seeing it right now. We hosted the IMFs for many years in a row that were only held in Las Vegas. But Sheikh Khalid said, I want to host the IMFs, and I'm going to make that happen. So it's a different type of promotion that we're talking about with Brave. I remember after the first Brave, they came to myself and the Hawk Mohammed Shahid, and we were fielding interviews. And someone said from the media, what if Brave doesn't sell tickets? What if Brave doesn't sell merchandise? What if Brave isn't as popular as you think it's going to be? And the Hawk's answer was brilliant. It was, we don't care about any of that. We're here to make a global imprint on mixed martial arts for the entire world to see. And when he said that, it's like, how do you compete against somebody who says that? He wasn't talking about money. He wasn't talking about revenue. He was talking about His Highness wants to make a global imprint on mixed martial arts, period. And that is what we're going to do. And it was in an incredible group with something special. But it was right then that I thought, this is unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you truly can't compete with this. This is done out of the love and the care. And if we talk about it even further, I'm glad we're getting into so many amazing things, but KHK MMA, KHK Team Bahrain is the #1 team in the world. Our head coach, for His Highness, he has the great Eldar Eldarov, who's our super lightweight champion of Brave Combat Federation. And on top of that, his only loss in the history of his career has been to Habib Nurmagomedov, the greatest fighter in the history of our sport. So we have just incredible fighters coming in from all different countries, including Russia, and the powerful Russian wrestlers and fighters that are coming in. And we have them coming in from the United States, like Jose Shorty Torres was an original member of KHK, and he came for this last fight in the greatest flyweight tournament in the history of our sport that we have going on right now. He came and trained 3 weeks early with the likes of Eldar Eldarov and Hamza Kuheji and Mohammed Mokayev, who is, you know, the greatest sensation that the world has ever heard of for not only an amateur, as he was 23-0 as an amateur and a 2-time IMF champion, but now he's 5-0 as a pro. And so he's ran his record to 28-0. And this young man is absolutely unimaginably talented and humble. And it's just shows the power of KHK MMA, the true brotherhood that they have. And the team that His Highness has assembled with the Hawk Shahid is just on another level. So, you know, there are pit bulls all over the place that are training here. I mean, Habib Nurmagomedov was here for a couple of years, and he trained with, at KHK MMA. That's why we have fighters coming around that are now going into the UFC, like Johnny Walker from Brazil. We have Hamza Chimaev, who, I tell you what, he was a secret when he was with Brave a little bit, but now that he's with the UFC, this guy is could be considered the best fighter in the world right now. When he gets off and better from COVID, which he has healed very well, I'm understanding from my reports. He's just amazing. So our fighters are going into other promotions when they leave, and they're just dominating. You know, Luana Pinheiro. I could just, the list goes on and on with these fighters, because they come here and they're so excited and happy to be here, treated with respect. And one thing about Brave is it's fighters for fighters. Everybody from the top ranking official, from His Highness, who is an MMA fighter himself. He's 2-0 in MMA. He's 1-0 in boxing. And then to the Hawk Muhammad Shahid, who is an incredible professional fighter. All of the people in Brave fight, so we understand the sacrifices that fighters go through. We understand that respect is a huge issue with fighters, and rightfully so. So, you know, that's why we're different. I talked to Shorty Torres. I just interviewed him the other day, and he said, you know what? People ask me why I didn't go to another promotion. And he said, it's all about respect. He said, they treat me so well here at Brave. Why would I ever think of going somewhere else? And along with that treatment is the marketing, the love, you know, the commitment to your career. It just, the list goes on, and it's truly, you know, amazing to be a part of it.
And so it really sounds like it's coming from the top down, this kind of attitude. I'm guessing that everyone they hire, everyone they join, you know, it comes with the same passion. So it must be quite rewarding for you being around, like everyone working towards the same goal. So it's not just a job, really, is it? It's something almost like a kind of a mission that you're all on over there.
It's a mission. It's a passion. It's you know, an incredible you know, livelihood that, you know, I don't see it as a job at all, because I'm doing what I love. being, like I said, a communications major in college and always loving, that arena. It has given me a rebirth in life. It's given me a second life. It's given me, that heaven on earth that, you always want to see. We're taking guys, and our scouting team, scours the face of
I
the
did,
earth,
yeah.
really, for the most most available, successful talent that is there, but maybe they don't have the press there. Maybe they don't have the training facilities. It's like we're taking real life Rocky stories and making them into national heroes. And to be part of that and to see the joy, that these men and women have once they come aboard, and to see that fulfilling, and to see then to go into their countries and see how they are then treated by their countries as national heroes. You can't beat the feeling. And like you said, exactly, it's not work for me. It's an absolute heaven on earth, and it's a joy.
Well, I really appreciate your time. I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of questions. The first is one I've always been curious about as an announcer, especially one that works with such a so many different cultures, very multicultural. How much practice do you put into your pronunciations? Because you have a lot of different people from different backgrounds, different languages, different languages, and you got to make sure that that pronunciation is spot on. So, how much work do you have? Do you practice languages a little bit, or do you just pick it up as you go along? How does it work for you?
You have to be a student of the game, and respect each country that you're in, and respect each fighter that is on the card. I practice long hours to make sure that the name is exact. I get my announcing team with Phil Campbell, Irish Thunder from Ireland, and the OG of MMA, Kirk Janess from the United States. We meet many times before the fights actually go on, and go over each and every name, their team, their loves, their hobbies, everything from top to bottom. Because, like you said, people just don't understand, from the United States. Sometimes I show them a fight card and they're like, how do you even pronounce these names? It's unfathomable how you do it. And it's like, we go over it. Phil Campbell is amazing as well with the pronunciations, and he goes over it with me every single time I go over with the fighters. And it's really, that's a great question that not a lot of people ask me, but being an announcer for Brave, you do run into that. You do run into every single fight card are names that you are thinking, wow, how is this even going to be possible to make that happen? And then next, how is it going to be possible to make it sound good and sound, like I'm roaring their name? So my goal is to get them as fired up as they can be. I always look at it like, if I were going into battle, how would I want my name pronounced? How would I want my intro done? And that's why I give from, the amateur fights to the any pro fight at the beginning of the card to the main event. I give every ounce of my soul to this, and to the point of I've had some challenges along the way. I had a widowmaker heart attack where I was 4 days in ICU, and we had I just got released from intensive care unit, and my wife said, "Okay, great, honey, now you're going home and you can rest." And I said, "Baby, I want you to pack my bags. I'm going to Abu Dhabi." And she said, "Dude, come on, you're not serious." I go, "I'm dead serious." And when I got to Abu Dhabi, Mohammed Shahid was like, "What did the doctors clear this?" I'm like, I didn't ask the doctors because I knew they would say no.
Yeah.
Another time I had a hip replacement and my hip exploded due to them taking out the sutures too early. So I bled. I was bleeding profusely. And I went to Jordan anyway. I said, "You know what? I honestly would die for His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmad Al Khalifa." He asked me, this is a quick little story, but he asked me about my daughter a few years ago. He said, "Carlos, can your daughter see?" And I said, "No, Your Highness, she's completely blind." And he goes, "Okay." 2 years later, comes to a date. He came up to me again. He said, "Carlos, can your daughter see?" I said, Your Highness, no, she's completely blind. And he said, I want to help. And I tears ran down my face. I was an emotional wreck. I couldn't believe that the kindest gesture of mankind that I've ever had, to give my daughter, hopefully, vision that she can one day see, just took my breath away. And it made me feel like I will run through an army for this man. I will climb mountains for days and fight whoever I need to. That's the kind of loyalty that we have here at Brave Combat Federation. It's the kindest gesture of any gesture I've ever heard of in the world for me. And it touches my heart so much. But that just wanted to give you an indication of why we're so loyal, why our fighters fight and give every ounce that they have in there, because His Highness is supporting us.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowkickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.